welcome to another video. We have the track car on the hoist getting ready for Keep a Reef Battle Royale, round 2 at Calder Park next weekend. So doing a bit of love on this thing. It has its body refresh. So now we're just doing engine service, check the oils on the gearbox and the diff, as well as do a bolt check and bolt in the harnesses properly. And I also just found I have a turbo gasket leak on the turbo. So quickly pull that off. Already changed all the tyres. So I got a set pair of 235 4018 Westlake Sport RSs. So basically like a good ride. I think they're the same brand pretty much for the fronts, and then for the rears we have this is a good ride. I think this is someone else's because I've got one of the good rides and one of my Zek Novas. So Zek Nova is the tyre we are running for the comp. I've got these old ones just on backwards just because we're doing the Friday night practice. So we're running a 265 3518 Super Sport RS. So just here, Zek Nova Australia is where we're getting those tyres from. So far I've had good things with them. I did borrow both my drive shafts at 45 PSI at the last round, and that was before I went GDR rear-end. So we're hoping we can keep the pressures low, have a lot of grip, and be a bit quicker at round 2 at Calder Park. So I'm going to rip into doing a service. I'll have to go get oil and oil filter, so I'll quickly drain the oil and I'll head off and I'll be back to you just in a moment. As I've just dropped the oil, done the engine and now the diff oil. She's a bit creamy in there. And I've pulled off the street exhaust and putting on the track exhaust now. So as you can see, I've got just a Jasmine muffler for a very long time. And I made up, when I done my full exhaust, I done the street and track version. So as you can see, I've got the twin blast pipe dumpies, look pretty sick. So pretty much, yeah, getting this thing slowly ready. It's looking much nicer now with all the new parts on. Scratched it with a jack, so that sucks. Got to get some expander foam sprayed in the crevice because I've pulled out the guard that was hit. It's put a big hole, so now smoke will get straight into the cabin. Get the exhaust on, get it down. I also forgot to mention my haircut is absolute fail. I was trying to cut a mullet as a joke and I stuffed it up and I just haven't fixed it yet. So don't judge me, alright? Turbo gasket, hopefully I have one here laying around. And I've also got some new brake pads, so just the random Bendix ones. They're just going for the rear brakes. I just have got the twin calipers there, and I've got my regular standard brakes up there, just for inline handbrake. Bit better to lock up. So yeah, I'm gonna get back into it. So I thought I might just quickly film doing the brake pads. These are honestly the easiest brake pads to do. So you got your 2-pot caliper, and they just got these 2 pins in there. So pop that ass out. The other one will eventually come with it. Stop making me look like a fool. And there you got the pin out. And you got the pin that goes through with a Phillips head hole on it. I like to just give them a quick little turn just to break them free. And if you can, you might be able to push on the pin to get a little gap. Get a flat head in there and just peel that pin out. This shield right here is going to shoot out because it's under pressure. I could hold it, but I can't because I'm trying to film. Should be able to pull it out. Ready? Ding! Next pin should just slide straight out. And then you will see in there, I like to just get a screwdriver, bit of pressure. Eventually there'll be a big gap which should fit a brand new brake pad. You also want to grab the shield on the back of the brake pad and use that on the new one. So there we have it. Again, just get a little gap in between the brake pad. As you can see, and then just pry it open. Nice and easy. Pull it out. New Year's Eve, I'm going to burn out and I completely cooked the brakes. So that's why I'm replacing them. And as you can see, nice little crack there. Heat shield off. Chuck her on. That also reminds me, I forgot to put this heat shield on the inner one. So quickly get this one back in. Nice and easy. Put this one back out. Heat shield on, straight back in. Nice and beautiful, straight in there. Set the pin in. Get the shield that you just dropped on the ground because it exploded. Push that back on. And much better with two hands because you can push on it a bit easier, but can be done with one if you're an expert, not like me. Look at that, straight in there. Then you want to, there's holes in the back of these pins, you want to line it up just like that. Wiggle it in, same with this one. You want to wiggle it as well as adjust the screw to get it in. There you have it. There you don't have it because that's backwards. God damn. There you have it. So nice and neat. That's how you change brake pads on a Nissan Skyline. Nice and easy. It's like a 5-minute job. So this is the old turbo gasket right here. As you can see, that is where it blew out. Obviously that's burrowed out and exhaust gas is getting past there. So that's cool. I should really be chucking a brand new one on, but this is the best I got. Hopefully it will last the event. It's going to be a bit dodgy. And it only took me 10 minutes to get the turbo up. Just hit the dump pipe, undo the 4 bolts, pick it up, just so there's a gap, you can get the gasket out. So I'll chuck this second-hand new one in just for the event, and then when I get my new hyper gear, I'll put a new gasket on when I chuck it on. But we're going out, so I'm going to stop here, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Alrighty, we're back. As you can see, it's all back together now, but unfortunately, I have to pull it back apart because I put a new gasket in and it looks like, get the zoom on. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a gap there. It's looking like the manifold is actually warped. So I've got to pull off all the whole hot side, which is very annoying considering that it's Monday and the event is on Friday. Which I should be able to do it tonight, but it's taking a bit of time away from doing other things, which it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm gonna rip into that. Hopefully be able to do the harness mount as well today. And then maybe tomorrow we can get on to repairing my wheels. So as you can see, I've got a pair of my D9Rs here. This one is destroyed. I think it's got a crack there on the lip. And then this one here has just got a cracked lip as well. I should be able to repair this one pretty easy, I think. There's a big buckle here. I'll hopefully be able to heat up and hit out so you at least get it somewhat straight. And then this one I'm going to grind off and then hopefully just build up some weld to get the lip back. It's actually buckled everywhere. This one is going to be a bit harder to do, but so that's all right. Got some good news. I've officially entered round 1 of the SA Drift Series. We're going to Tailem Bend on the 12th and 13th of March, I believe that's the dates, but I just entered, so going to be doing L1, and yeah, awesome track. Can't wait to actually drive some of the SA guys because the events always look insane. The drivers there are killer as well, so that'll be cool. But for now, we are getting ready for the Battle Royale series, which is in Victoria at Calder Park. So I'm ripping to getting this thing done so we can get the car ready for that event. Anyway, enough talking. Turbo's off now, took about 15-20 minutes. And the first thing I do notice is the fact that I put some copper gasket spray onto the gasket. None of this is hitting when it's all tightened down. So as you can see, it's warped up from this side and that side. So it's creating a gap in the center. If you guys can see this, you can see that big gap there. I don't have a proper machine to do it. So another way you can get away with it is if you have a decent sized file, you can set it up like a flat file like this. You can set it up straight and sort of just do a nice flat motion and get it good. I'll pull the manifold off and I'll go into more detail when I have got it off. Alrighty, so I have the manifold in the vise now. It's not too tight because I don't want to destroy it. I just got it in at the moment. I'll probably end up trying to move it to a runner or something, but just to make it nice and easy. You can see the flange is warped just from looking at it like that. Chuck the ruler on, which is basically a flat edge. You can see there's a decent gap. That's why this thing's leaking out of the gasket. So what you want to do firstly is I'm going to pull out the studs. So a nice little trick you want to do is get 2 nuts, put them onto the thread, however way you want, doesn't really matter, just like that. Get two 14mm spanners or whatever size the actual nut is, in this case 14. Give them a little nip up and you can undo the stud nice and easy, as you can see. And I'll repeat that on all 4, just so we can have a nice surface to file down. Make sure you don't do it too tight, because then you can just quickly undo it same way, and just undone. So I'll repeat that process and I'll come back. Studs are out. Let's have another look. Nice big gap whole way across. So this is what I'm going to use. It has been used before on a bit of alloy, so I might give it a bit of a clean down with a wire brush. But basically, you want to pretty much just go across like file. Try keep it as flat as possible. Just pretty much do that over and over, and you'll see it slowly start to build as you're pretty much like doing a mill, like skimming your head or something like that. So I'll do that. I'll try time lapse it so you guys can see what I mean. Hopefully, I think I have another one of these which is a bit better condition, so I might use that. But we'll get onto it. Hopefully, we can make it look good as new. So the file technique did not quite work. The warp was so bad on the flange that I had to bust out the grinder, as you've seen. And I just took off as much as I could on these sides. Got it pretty good to where I'm happy with. But now I've just put a bit of paint on it. And now I'm going to go back over it with a file again, just to try and get it to be as close to perfect as I can. I think it is probably time for an upgrade. I might have to hit up Speed Tech, see if I can get a new one. And maybe we'll save this one day for the BMW for when I decide to turbo that thing. But that'll probably be much further down the track. Have a quick look up here. It's not perfect by any means, but the gap is way less than what it was. Hopefully with the file down job, it'll get all the bits that stand up out of the way, and we can have a flat surface so we have no gasket leaks. So I'll quickly do this now and I'll be back in just a moment. Alrighty, got it all done now. There's a little bit of a low spot right here, but there's nothing I'm too concerned about. It'd be great if this thing would focus. Got it. This is pretty much perfect. That side's perfect. That's pretty bloody good. That is also not too shabby. There's a little bit of a low spot right there, like I said, but that's nothing I'm too concerned about. The gasket is gonna take up that tolerance, so I think it'll be alright. So I'll put the studs back in, give it a lick of paint, and we'll get it back on the car, hopefully for a test drive tonight. Alright, it's all back together now. Hopefully, not hopefully, guaranteed there's going to be no more leaks. I'll give her a fire up. This is also my public apology to anyone within a 5-kilometre radius, and also my family, because it is, 4-inch straight pipe right now, and it's loud. So I will set the camera up, and you guys can be the first to hear this thing with no exhaust leaks. Pretty sure the V-band for the rear housing is leaking just to the dump pipe, which is very minor. Just condensation gets through it. Not worried about that. There's no leaks around the turbo gasket, so she's going to be hitting full boost now and hopefully feel a bit better, because it still felt pretty quick when I last drove it. So hopefully when we go to the event, it's going to blaze and can actually spin the 265 semi-slicks. But that's also the other thing. I'm not going to take it for a drive this video. You guys can wait to the next one, which will be the Friday practice night, which I'm going to try edit that the same night, which is going to be tough because it's a late finish. And then Saturday, don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more repairs on the track car. I also can't remember if I showed, this was the turbo gasket that blew out because of the warped manifold. I just pulled it out of the shed and I heard something crunch. It's my side skirt. Next day now, got the car on the hoist, got the harnesses all in and done. Had a bit of grief with this bolt here. Normally a stud here for a brace. There's two there, one there. And there's a brace for when you have like a stock car. I was saying this thing, I pulled it out when I'd done the manual conversion, just threw it away. Don't really need it. It's sort of like a tail shaft loop, but it was that thin, it would probably end up just getting destroyed anyway. Obviously, it's a tail shaft loop. Anyway, I used the stud off this to hard mount the exhaust. Probably part of the reason why this car is so vibrating. But the stud actually punched out of the body as I was spinning, so I had a bit of grief getting that off. So I ended up just putting a nut and bolt on it, and it works all sweet. I just need to quickly pry away this heat shield because it's hitting the exhaust. Sounds a bit funky. As you can see, you've got the mount in for the harness, sort of just there. Be hard to see, but it's in there now, which is good. Put a little bit of weather stripping around here, just for a bit of a nicer look. I think it looks really cool, but that'll probably last one lap and it will melt. So I'm going to pull it out now, jack it up and pressure wash underneath the engine bay. Try to get back as far as I can because the car is absolutely filthy underneath. So I'm going to do that and we'll get on to whatever's next. I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm filming, to be honest, because it's all just me. It's all just me talking again, being boring, the same thing over and over. I'm trying not to refilm the same thing over and over because that is something I do because I don't really have much content to film. So I do apologise if you get bored. If you get bored, whatever, don't watch. At least leave a like. A lot of effort does go into doing this, especially getting ready for track days, which a lot of people don't really see in events. So that's why I do like to try and film it and talk a little bit about the process. But that's enough talking. I'm going to drop it down and get into it. I just realised I didn't even think I showed these. These are my new harnesses I got. So I got a pair of them. They're hidden behind a bunch of junk there. Pretty cool. Some nice pink bits. Bloody fancy boy over here. So I thank my mum for that. She got it for Christmas. Ended up taking 7 months to get here, but pretty stoked on them. First event using them because this thing's always had the trusty old standard seatbelt, which is a bit sketchy being in the car like this. It's a full cage comp spec car pretty much with standard seatbelts. Who's letting that get past regs? She's all clean now, got the harness in, and I'm probably going to call the video here just because I just wanted to get something out for this week, so keep that ball rolling, you know what I mean? So I'm going to shutter that here. I will give you guys a cheeky little rev or whatever, just so this video ain't too boring. So hopefully I'll see you guys this Saturday at Calder Park, Keeper Round 2 Battle Royale. That company's got some crazy things happening, so hopefully you guys can jump on their website and support them, and hopefully they continue to put out sick events like they're going to, shred tyres and have a good time in our cars, battling our friends and competitors. So we'll hopefully see you guys there, and I'll speak to you then.